Hi, my name's Tegan and this is Vinny. We're here with Jacob's Trading and I'm the jewelry making expert. Check out the description below and that will lead you to our website as well as our online store for more information. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a diffuser necklace. Okay, so today we're going to be using a variety of materials. We have some chain, a diffuser pendant, some charms and beads, jump rings, clasps, head pins, and then a little piece of felt to go inside of that pendant. First, we're going to start with that diffuser pendant. So the diffuser pendants are actually hollow and they open up sideways. And in order to make them diffusible, we have to put something inside that's going to absorb the oil. So today we're going to use a piece of felt. We're going to start by cutting this to shape. So we're going to take a pair of scissors, open up our pendant. You can either draw this out with a marker on your felt if it's easier. I tend to just kind of wing it, so I stick it in there, cut it down, and cut it to shape. So I'll cut kind of like a square, and I'll just stick it in there and cut it around nicely to fit. So to save time, I pre-cut out my piece so you can see it's a heart shape. I like to, in these ones, just because they're a little bit thicker, actually stick them more in the front as opposed to the back. So I'm going to stick that in the front side, but then it might risk kind of like falling down in the pendant. So I'm actually going to cut a wide piece of felt and I'm going to roll it up and stick it in the back. It doesn't have to be anything pretty or even. You're just going to cut out a little piece and I'm going to roll it up and stick it on the inside. So this gives it a little bit more oil to absorb, and I did it too thick. So we're just going to cut it down a bit more. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything specific. We're just going to get something to fit in the middle there, just to kind of fill the space. And once we seal it up, then that's going to hold it so that that top piece of felt is going to hold forwards, and it gives it more for the oil to absorb. Next thing we're going to do is with the head pins. So that's these little danglies here with the beads. So these are called head pins, and what they are is a little piece of wire with a little head on the end. If you haven't worked with head pins before, be sure to check out our description and we'll have a URL that will take you to our tutorial on how to use these. So I have a few different beads here today, so I'm going to show you how to make this one first. So we're just going to pop on a couple beads. I'm going to start with an amethyst. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do a pattern with 3. You can feel free to change this up however you like. You can use different bead shapes, different colors, different amounts, whatever you feel like. So we're going to start with our round nose pliers, and we're just going to bend this sideways a little bit and then wrap it around that top tongue of our pliers into a loop and around. Like I said, if you want a detailed version of how to do this, check out that description and I will review that with you. We're just going to clip that down. There's a little pointy bit on there. We're going to get in there with our flat nose pliers and just kind of squish that in so you don't have any sharp parts. You don't want to leave anything that's going to catch on a shirt. And now we have our little loop at the top. And so that kind of makes this little pendant here. Next we're going to add on a jump ring. I have 2 different sizes of jump rings. So jump ring is essentially just a little loop that has an opening between the rings. So we're going to stick the ring through that there, because obviously this little loop that I just made isn't going to fit on my chain. So we have to put on a bigger ring so it can flow nicely on the necklace. We're going to use 2 pairs of flat nose pliers and we're going to grab on either side. Same thing as the head pins. If you are unsure how to use jump rings properly, we also have a video for that, so make sure you also check out the description and we can review that. Biggest thing with jump rings, always move side to side. So never go and unpeel the circle. You want to move up and down this way, and that's going to make sure your circle stays round. So there's our first charm with those beads. We're going to make one more. I got one that I used with a larger bead, so we're going to do that now. So we're going to grab another head pin. We're going to grab one of these larger amethyst beads. Like I said earlier, you can change this up and use any beads you like. I chose doing 3 little ones and 1 big one, but if you want to use chips or rondelle shapes or only little beads, you can mix this necklace up however you like. There's so many different options on the different shapes and colors that you can do. So we're doing the same thing. We're wrapping it around. Gonna clip that off so we have that little loop at the top. Tuck in that little piece of wire so we don't get any pointy snags. And then same thing, we're gonna pop on one of these jump rings to make it flow nice on the necklace. Remember, side to side, so you're gonna open it that way, pop it on, right back the same direction you opened it. So now we have our 2 different charms there. The next thing we're gonna add on is just a little charm. So in this one I use kind of like a peacock feather. This one I just use more of a regular feather that we're gonna use. Once again, the hole on these is a little bit small. It's not gonna fit through that chain, so we're gonna add on another jump ring. So we're gonna open that up, pop that on. So now we have all of these pieces. So these are the 3 bits that we're gonna put on the necklace. We have our pendant that has already been prepared. Now we just have to put this together on the necklace. So first thing we're gonna do to prepare this chain is pop our clasp and a jump ring on one side. So I'm actually gonna go down size in our jump rings. So I'm using, these ones are 6 millimeters by 1 millimeter wide, and these ones are actually 8 millimeters by 1 millimeter. So we're going down to the 6 millimeter size, just so that it's a better, closer size to the necklace. You don't want like a giant loop on the end of your necklace. It tends to stick out a bit more. So that's why we're using a slightly smaller one. So we're gonna put on, so you can notice that I'm holding the jump ring in my tool. And now I added the chain on there. I'm now going to add the clasp on there while I'm still holding it. It makes it easier than trying to fiddle with it in your fingers. So if you already have it in your tool, same as always, we're gonna go back with that other tool, working side to side, and close that up. So now we have our clasp on one end of the chain. You can make your chain if you have it in bulk, whatever length you like. This one, to be honest, I didn't measure it. I just had it sit where I like on my chest, so you can have it shorter, longer, you can clip it down. If you do have it a certain length and you want it shorter, you can clip it down. Whatever you desire. That's the beauty of making your own jewelry. So now we're going to add on our pendants before we close up the other side of the chain. You can do whatever order you like. So I tended to put these guys all kind of in a clump with the pendant on the other side, but if you want to put some on each side, you can do that too. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy on first. Put the one on there and the rest. So the order, like I said, it doesn't matter. This necklace I find is kind of flowy, so all the pieces will move around on their own accord. You can't really control where they sit. So we're just gonna pop all those on. And then the last thing we're going to do is put a jump ring on the other side. Sorry, my workstation's getting a little messy here for you guys to see, but so you can see I have all those bits on there. We're gonna put one more jump ring on. So I'm using the small one once again, just because it sits nicer. Open that. Pop our chain on. And now you have your clasp on the other side of the chain. So you can see we have a jump ring, clasp, jump ring, and then that brings us through our necklace, and there's our completed necklace. So lastly, I'm just going to show you guys how to use this. So you can grab whatever your favorite oil or oil blend is, and you're simply just going to drop it through the top. You don't have to take it off every single time in order to get it to put oil in. You just drop a couple drops through the top there. Once you're done, you just let it soak in for a minute, and now you can wear your beautiful piece of diffuser jewelry. If you wanted to change the smell, simply just let it air out for a day or two and then put a new smell on. You don't have to change the pads or anything. The scent that you put on there will typically last for about 24 hours. After that, the smell will wane. You may still have a little bit of the scent, but typically after that time, it's not very strong. So even after 24 hours, if you go ahead and put another drop on there, that scent will then take over and be the stronger scent, and you won't really smell the other one. If you want to make sure it's fully gone, wait maybe 48 hours and you should be good to go.
That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for joining me in making our diffuser necklace. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop that below and I will get those answered for you. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Cheers.